They're playing host to their NFC East rival, the Arizona Cardinals. Hello, everybody. I'm Ray Bentley, along with my partner, Jeff Lageman. And, Jeff, the Cowboys are going to start their third different quarterback today. Quincy Carter out with the hamstring injury. And then you've got Anthony Wright. He's going to have surgery on Tuesday on his knee. So Clint Stoerner is the last man standing. Now, who is Clint Stoerner?
He's a second-year man out of Arkansas who all the players and coaches have likened to former Cowboy quarterback Jason Garrett. His two strongest strengths, he's competitive and he's smart. But the one thing he does not have is a strong arm. Dave Campo said he's probably not an NFL-grade starter. So that brings in a wild card, Ryan Leaf. Ryan Leaf did take half the snaps this week in practice, and Ryan, he did say before the game that he feels comfortable with about 90% of the playbook. So it's going to be interesting to see what they end up doing at quarterback.
Cowboys waived 2 defensive starters this week. They're getting tougher. Kareem Larimore and Darren Hambrick both gone. What's the story behind that?
You would think that would have a big impact on this football team, but every player that we've talked to said it's about time. It should have happened a long time ago.
Arizona will also be missing 4 starters, and you see Raynoch Thompson, he's inactive. He got in trouble this week.
Yeah, he had a DUI, but the big thing is all 4 of these guys are on defense, 4 defensive starters, and Dave McGinnis has said we've had to trick it up so far this year to be successful on defense, so it's going to have to get even trickier today.
That it is, and for Dave McGinnis and the Arizona Cardinals, he said, hey, I think I have skilled players on offense. I've got a quarterback that can operate this thing. I need an offensive line to rebuild the offense. They started at the guards, and they went and they got Pete Kendall, and they drafted Leonard Davis. They got 2 big ones there.
And Leonard Davis is big, and it was smart because they got a talented running back in Michael Pittman. Dave McGinnis had a talk with quarterback Jake Plummer in the offseason and said, Jake, you're not the savior of our offense. All I want you to do is to operate this offense, and Jake Plummer has done that. The last 2 weeks, he has not thrown an interception.
Kendall and Davis leading the charge up front. The Cowboys have beaten the Arizona Cardinals here at Texas Stadium 11 consecutive times in the regular season. They've won 18 of the last 22, but Arizona's a little better coming this time around. So we'll find out. We'll have the kickoff coming up after these messages. Welcome back to Irving, Texas Stadium, where the Cowboys have lost the toss. Arizona will receive. Let's take a look at some of the scores from other action. The earlier games today, a lot of close ones, as Baltimore nips Jacksonville. Jets over Carolina. Still going on down there. New Orleans and St. Louis, 31 apiece. That's a barn burner going to come down to the wire. And how about Tampa Bay, 41-14 over Minnesota? They got their legs going today.
Amazing, and what a game the Saints and the Rams that's going on right now. That game has been back and forth. Every piece that we've seen has been exciting.
You see Dave McGinnis, second year as the Cardinals head coach, and he was the interim guy for a while, and then they did the right thing and they made him the real guy, and he's really changed his attitudes, in my mind, since he got that interim tag removed.
Well, and the players even lobbied for him to get the job last year when he was the interim coach, and the players even now, nothing but rave reviews for Dave McGinnis.
And Dave Campo on the other sideline. He's been here his second year now, a 6-16 record. And he is trying to get his Cowboy team going. And the kick is off from Micah Norton. We're underway. And this will be Marte Jenkins. Jenkins hurdles one man and then is stopped inside the 20. A nice special teams play by Jason Bell. The Cardinals offense comes in ranked 13th in the NFL up front. Shelton, Kendall, Grudadoria, the rookie Leonard Davis, whom we will talk much about today, and Anthony Clement on the right side. In the backfield, it's Pittman and Makovica. The receivers are Boston and Sanders. Terry Hardy is the tight end. And Jake Plummer coming in at quarterback, and the biggest thing I think you can say about Jake is more touchdowns and interceptions this year.
And that doesn't happen very often with Jake Plummer.
Plummer starts at 1st and 10 from his own 19, and Pittman takes the handoff and doesn't get a whole lot. Runs into Michael Myers. Check the Dallas defense, which is ranked 14th in the NFL up front. Zellner, Noble, Myers, and Greg Ellis. The linebackers are Coakley and Dat Wynn, and then Marcus Steele getting his first NFL start. And then in the secondary, it's Edwards, Woodson, Teague, and DeJuan Hawthorne. And Hawthorne is also getting his first NFL start. They're replacing the 2 Cowboy starters that were released during the week. Hardy makes the catch close to the first down. Mario Edwards runs him out of bounds, and I believe they will mark it. It is a first down here for Arizona.
We talked to Jake Plummer about what's the plan of attack for the Cardinal offense against this Cowboys defense, and he said, you know, it's pretty simple. We're going to pound the ball with Michael Pittman, and then when we go to pass the ball, we're going to attack their corners because we feel that their corners are subpar.
He did say that Darren Woodson is the guy who runs the show over there, number 28 for the Cowboys.
He said he's awesome.
Sanders goes in motion. Blitz comes. That's Woodson. And Woodson gets on the tackle late. That's actually Marcus Steele making the initial hit, and then the blitzing Woodson piles on top.
And Jake Plummer was right when he's talking about Darren Woodson coming up into the line of scrimmage. He is a fantastic player. This is Darren Woodson right in here, and he's going to be around the line of scrimmage a lot because they're going to try and shut down that Arizona running game completely. And a great job by Michael Myers against the big offensive guard, Leonard Davis. He ends up knocking him back into the backfield.
2nd and 9. Plummer, 3-step drop, throws it outside. Boston makes the catch. Boy, that got on him quick. And Boston did a nice job of bringing it in before Hawthorne can get on.
And DeJuan Hawthorne, this is his first career start. So it's going to be interesting if David Boston can stay on him the entire game. I would expect David Boston to win a lot of matchups. But the one thing to remember is that the Cowboys do not play a lot of man-to-man. So he's going to get some help from the safeties, Woodson and Teague.
Here's a man-to-man situation coming up. 3rd down and 5.
And here's David Boston right here on the slot, matched up against Woodson.
Plummer from the shotgun. And he throws it outside to Frank Sanders. Sanders up to midfield. First down Cardinals. Sanders for 15 yards.
And this has been a big change for the Cardinals offense. Last year under offensive coordinator Mark Trestman, Jake Plummer said that he didn't really feel that we had a consistent game plan from week to week. He said we were trying to spread the ball out. He said this year we're hanging our hat on 2 things, giving the ball to Michael Pittman and getting the ball to David Boston.
Plummer 3 for 3 to start out. He has hit 3 different receivers. Here comes a blitz again from the Cowboys, and Pittman runs away from it, fumbles the football, but it's out of bounds. Dexter Coakley over there making a play along with Greg Ellis.
Here's Woodson matched up in the slot against Sanders. And this is what they're going to be doing. Along with Marcus Steele, Woodson comes from the backside of the run away from him. But I would expect Dallas to do this a lot on 1st down to try and get the Cardinal offense in a lot of 2nd and 3rd and long situations. Darren Woodson did say, he said, look, we're going to be patient because we're going to expect them to make mistakes because they've always done it in the past.
2nd long, Plummer to Pittman, nowhere to go again. Dat Wynn making a tackle. And you're right, that's when Woodson, we talked to you, you've battled against Arizona for a while. You know Jake Plummer, you know this scheme. What do you got to do to win? He said, hey, just hang around. Just keep him on the field, keep him on the field, and you know eventually there's going to be a mistake from Plummer and company.
And you would think that being patient would mean a lot of blitzing, but so far in this ball game, they've been doing a lot of blitzing, and a lot of that has been Darren Woodson and Marcus Steele.
Woodson up close to the line again, up in the linebacker spot up top there. On 3rd and 10, Plummer scrambles. And he tries to slide short of the first down. Ran into Dat Wynn again.
And Jake Plummer said, hey, I haven't been hit a lot this year, but the coverage was pretty good. It was just a zone coverage. Frank Sanders going up the seam, and Coach Lee doing a good job of carrying that seam. George Teague over the top of both guys. Jake Plummer couldn't find anybody. Uses his leg a little bit. But I tell you what, he is fortunate he did not get hurt because Dat Wynn hit him before he could get down.
Wynn, the leading tackler for the Cowboys, as Kenyon Rambo back to receive the Scott Player punt. And it goes into the end zone for a touchback, a 42-yard punt, but the 22-yard net. And the Cowboys and Clint Stoerner will get their first shot on offense when we come back.
Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 36.
And then what are you going to do, the Cardinals?
Dallas Cowboys get their first shot on offense. Clint Stoerner, second year in the NFL, his first regular season start. Played some NFL Europe this past year. 10 games, led the Scotland Claymores to a 6-4 record, but this is the big time now.
Yeah, and he's not a tall guy. They list him at 6'2", but there's no way. I think he'd be lucky to be 6 foot.
Well, the trainer called him Opie on the way out when we were visiting on Friday, so that gives you any indication. Stoerner on 1st and 10. Play action. And he dumps it underneath to Emmitt Smith, and Smith shows a little power, gets a first down. Let's take a look at this Cowboy offense, which is ranked 3rd in the NFL in rushing. Doing very well up front with Adams, Allen, Stepnoski, Garman, and Page. Backs and receivers, Rocket Ismail and Joey Galloway. The wide receivers, Smith and Troy Hambrick in the backfield. Jackie Harris is the tight end. See this offensive line, they've been outstanding. 3rd in the NFL in rushing and have allowed just 7 sacks in 137 pass attempts. That's pretty good. Emmitt Smith gets the corner, picks up about 3 yards. And Jeff, we were impressed with this offensive line.
You got to start with Larry Allen. Larry Allen's probably, in my opinion, the best guard that's ever played the game. He's a monster guy that's got wheels. He pulls better than any offensive guard, and he's got more strength than any offensive guard. It was funny talking to Troy Hambrick. He said, he says, I'm learning how to run the football. He goes, I watch him. And he says, and the one thing that Emmitt does, he sticks his nose right up behind Larry Allen and just follows him.
Yeah, he said he's starting to know where all them yards that Emmitt has are coming from. 2nd and 6. Stoerner play action again. Shoots it low and outside, incomplete. He was looking for Galloway. Let's take a look at that Arizona defense, and this is a group that is ranked 30th in the NFL. They've had injuries up front. It's Burke, Tanner, Davis, and the rookie Fred Wakefield today. Linebackers Fredrickson and McKinnon, and Sekou Sanyika is making his initial NFL start in for Raynoch Thompson. We talked about his problems earlier. Corey Chavis and David Barrett are the corners. Lucas and Lassiter are the safeties, and if you want to point to one guy, it's Kwame Lassiter.
Yeah, he's a good player, but on 3rd down is where they're at right here. This is where they missed the rookie Kyle Vanden Bosch because he was their best pass rusher.
3rd and 6. Stoerner from the shotgun. Misses over the middle, incomplete, trying to hit the rocket. He was off the mark again, and he's hearing the boos here in Texas Stadium.
And a little change. Actually, Sharon Dorsey is in for right tackle Solomon Page. Clint Stoerner had plenty of time to deliver this ball. Just a little bit out in front. And remember, he has not had a lot of time to work timing with his wide receivers. When you're the third quarterback, you'd be lucky to get a sniff with any starting wide receiver in the season and the preseason.
Micah Nora on the punt. Good high punt. Arnold Jackson takes it, and Jackson up the middle with a little action up to the 28-yard line. Brought down by Jamal Brooks, and the Arizona Cardinals will get their second crack with the football when we come back.
How you doing?
Over what happened in that last series, we may well see him as the Cowboys quarterback if things aren't continue to go that way for Clint Stoerner.
Talking to Coach Dave Campo, he said that if we're way ahead or way behind, we probably will see Ryan Leaf. But I would think that if Clint Stoerner is not having a whole lot of success, that we will see Ryan Leaf as well.
1st and 10 for the Cardinals. Plummer, he's back to throw. Pump fake. Now he dumps it down. This is Makovica, and he'll get about 7 yards. Right now, let's go to Los Angeles for an NFL game break. Here's JB.
Ray and Jeff.
Thank you, JB. Another exciting game going on at St. Louis and New Orleans game going down to the wire. And here's another 2 4-1 upstart teams going at it.
The doubters should not be doubting the Chicago Bears anymore.
2nd and 2, a counter play. Pittman with room up the middle, and Pittman with a first down. As Marcus Steele makes the tackle, and that offensive line for the Arizona Cardinals. We talked at the top about how this is where Dave McGinnis felt he had to rebuild, and rebuild he's done, and he's built it big.
Oh, he's built it real big. And if you look at the average weight, 327 pounds, you've got to take into account that Grudadoria is only 284 and Pete Kendall's 294. So the other three guys are the ones that are making the average go way up.
That tilts to the right, and that's Anthony Clement, who is at 350, and Leonard Davis at 370. That'll boost your average up a little bit. Plummer throws the out, complete to Boston. First down for the Cardinals, and you know we're talking about that offensive line, and they really are the new breed of an offensive line, because here's what it is every 10 years from 1971.
And even today at 308 pounds, and the Cardinals dwarf it. I mean, they're way above that average.
They're 10 years or so ahead of 20 years ahead of their time.
Yeah, they're about average for what it's going to be in 2011.
And there's the biggest one, Leonard Davis.
And they're athletic as well.
Woodson on the blitz again, runs it right into reverse with Boston. Zellner can't get him, and Boston gets another first down up the sideline. 12 yards on the pickup. The reverse to David Boston, running away from the blitz.
And I think this goes to show you that Rich Olson, the offensive coordinator, is doing a good job. Here he comes, David Boston. When you have star players like Michael Pittman and David Boston, you have to find creative ways to get the ball into their hands, and Rich Olson has done a good job of that this year. And you can ignore that right there. That's not even close.
Now Boston's one of those big guys too, 237 pounds as a wide receiver. And there should be a rule against that. Pittman on the cutback breaks the tackle from Steele and gets it up to the 32-yard line.
You will not find a tougher runner in the National Football League than Michael Pittman. In fact, Jake Plummer said, I've had conversations with Michael before and said, hey, you need to stay in the game for me. In other words, he means that a lot of times when you're trying to take it to the defenders, be smart sometimes and just turn down the contact so that you can have a little self-preservation going on.
Right, Pittman knocked himself out pretty much early in the Chicago game. 2nd and 6. Mitchell, the tight end, across, and now the draw to Pittman, and he is stopped immediately, and we'll stop right now and go to Los Angeles. Let's find out what happened in that Bears game.
Ray and
Thank you, JB. How about that for some excitement?
It could not be happening to a better head coach. Dick Duran is as fine a man as you'll ever meet.
Bears to 5-1. It's 3rd and long here for Jake Plummer, and it breaks down, and Plummer's got a lot of room to scramble. Plummer all the way up near the 10-yard line where he takes his slide. Second big scramble on the day for Plummer. He picked up 22 yards on that one, and that's a X factor in your offense.
It is when you've got a guy that can move. And here's Darren Woodson coming in on the blitz. Now I want you to watch what happens to Darren Woodson. Darren Woodson, meet number 75, and they call him big. His name is Leonard Davis.
And he is big.
Just absolutely stones him, and then just pushes him down. Leonard Davis is the new breed of offensive line.
1st and 10, Pittman swarmed under. He loses the football, but he'll be marked down, and Woodson was in that pile again.
Hey, Ray.
His current drive, 8 plays, 60 yards. A big 3rd down conversion on the Plummer scramble kept this thing alive. And Jake Plummer's playing very well right now. He's got 2 carries for 28 yards. He's 5 of 5 passing for 49. See the Cardinals. They've scored 8 out of 11 times in the red zone. They keep it on the ground, cut back, nowhere to go on the backside. That's Dexter Coakley.
And just for a minute, you would have thought that Michael Pittman had made a nice cut. But I want you to watch how quickly the Dallas defenders close the gap. Look at this hole right there. You would think he's got time, but no. What a great fill by Zellner Myers and also Dexter Coakley.
10th play of the drive coming up as you see Dexter Coakley out of Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. 40 tackles and 1 forced fumble on the season. Here's a big one now. 3rd down and 10. excuse me, 3rd and 8 from the 10. Plummer. It was batted at the line, incomplete to Frank Sanders.
And Brandon Noble is the guy who got the batted pass. This is Brandon Noble lined up, and he loops out to the right side, all the way outside the defensive end, and just gets enough on the ball. Went all the way outside Byron Frisch in a little game. That's one thing the Cowboys have had to do. They've had to do a little stunning because their pass rush hasn't been as strong as they'd like to have.
But they do hustle and run around up front, and that's just a hustle play from Noble knocking it out. So it's a 27-yard field goal attempt from Bill Gramatica, and that's good. And we have our first score here in Texas. It is 3-0 Arizona over Dallas.
Planet.
Out of Texas, Leonard Davis, and he's like the Undertaker in wrestling. Watch this hit.
Now this is the game against Chicago. Watch it. Watch Leonard Davis slam safety Mike Brown to the ground. I guarantee you that every safety in the league is going to see that when they come into play Leonard Davis. And don't you know that Darren Woodson was thinking for a minute there that I'm going to end up looking like Mike Brown.
And he did to some extent. It wasn't as bad as the Brown hit, but Leonard Davis is a man out there. I mean, he's incredible. He was a man-child. You talked about him and growing up being 300 pounds in the 7th grade. It's amazing. As Kenyon Rambo returns the kick, and Rambo has a little bit of room, and now the flag comes down as Rambo gets a 20-yard return, and we'll see what the penalty is.
It looks like it's going to be a clip on Michael Wiley. The illegal block in the back.
Ron Blum is our referee today.
Legal block in the back. Number 56, Dallas, during the return. Half the distance to the goal. First down, Dallas. Timeout.
Arantes Grant is the one who was guilty, and we'll take a break right now. The Cowboys, their second chance with the ball. They trail 3-zip.
From professional-grade people come professional-grade trucks. By Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. By your neighborhood 7-Eleven store. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven. And by WorldCom, Generation D.
Clint Stoerner making his first NFL start here for the Cowboys. He's 1 of 3 for 11 yards in the first quarter. They keep it on the ground to Emmitt Smith, and Smith gets up to the 12-yard line before he is brought down. And coming up next, it's game 2 of the World Series presented by Budweiser, with a matchup of 2 dominating lefties. Andy Pettitte and the Yankees look to even the series against Randy Johnson and a Diamondbacks team trying to go up 2-0 before heading back to the Bronx. It's game 2 of the World Series. It begins next here on Fox.
I can't imagine the Yankees thinking they're going to get even, and all of a sudden you've got to face Randy Johnson.
Yeah, it's not an easy date, that's for sure. 2nd and 6. Hambrick with a couple. You talked about Randy Johnson. Andy Pettitte, he was the American League Player of the Year. So I mean, this is something else. Some of the matchup for tonight's game. I mean, last night was great. Now look at here tonight.
Yeah, but the one thing that I think of though is that Randy Johnson has had a 1.88 ERA all season long and in the playoffs, whereas Pettitte seems to have improved in the playoffs. But as far as consistency goes, Randy Johnson is the guy.
It's going to be a good one, and that is coming up next here on Fox. 3rd down and 5. Stoerner with time. He unloads outside, incomplete, and it's knocked away by David Barrett. Barrett stepped right in front. It's fortunate for the Cowboys that Rocket Ismail broke it up, because it could have went the other way.
Yeah, real fortunate. And that's one thing that Clint Stoerner does not have, is a strong arm. When you're talking about throwing out routes like that, you've got to be able to put some velocity on it. That's got to be a scary call for offensive coordinator Jack Riley.
Arnold Jackson back to receive the 2nd Micah Noor punt of the day. Noor in his end zone for this one. Low line drive punt, a returnable ball. Jackson from his own 47 slips down in Cowboy territory. 40-yard punt, 5-yard return. Cardinals up 3-0. We'll be back in a moment. Look at some of the early game headlines. Kurt Warner suffers his first career home loss up there in St. Louis, but they're still in first place.
And the Saints, though, they believe that they're a tougher team than the Rams.
He proved it today. You see Corey Dillon ran all over the only winless team in the NFL, the Detroit Lions, and then Keenan McCardell in a losing effort for Jacksonville. A huge day for him, but Baltimore pulled that game out 18-17. First and 10, Plummer to the air. Throws it underneath to Makovicka as a flag comes down as Makovicka goes down at the 40-yard line. And that flag is thrown in the offensive backfield, and that's generally indicative of a holding type infraction. And that's what we get the initial signal from Ron Blum.
Holding, number 75, Arizona, 10 yards, repeat first down.
They got the big boy.
That's Leonard Davis against Mike Myers at the defensive tackle spot. And watch when Myers tries to go inside. Leonard Davis does the old, ooh.
Oh, man.
He snatches him, and then he has to add insult to injury and throw 370 pounds on top of his back with the belly flop.
Yeah, he broke him over the knee, and then he put the pancake on him.
Oh, that's got to hurt.
That did hurt.
That's going to leave a mark.
Leonard Davis going to wear you out before it's over. Here, first and 20. Plummer on play action with pressure. Sets up the screen. Almost picked off. And that was Big John Nix down there beating up the football. You know, we talked about Leonard Davis and what he is compared to the average man. And here's Leonard on the left side. And they call him big, and he's a bird because he's a Cardinal. You look at his numbers compared to the average male. Some disparity there.
What a differential. Size 18 shoe.
And the average shoe is a 10.5. And his shoes are so big. Yes. We were talking to Rob Fredrickson. He says he can only fit 3 pair of shoes in his locker.
He's going to see if he can get it out here.
Plummer dumps it outside to Thomas Jones.
Okay, and I got a report on Terry
Jones
Hardy.
knocked out of bounds.
Yeah.
Number 26, Thomas Jones on the reception.
In another shoe story for Leonard Davis, they have Scott Player's shoes, and they talked about his. And he's got a size. I'm not sure what the size is, but he can fit his shoe inside of Leonard Davis's shoe. Can Scott Player? So this is a big guy.
And you're not talking. You're not talking a B or a C width. You're talking about double, triple E's. And the guy wears 4 or 5X shoulder pad. I didn't even know they made him that big.
Special order on 3rd and 14. First quarter winding down. Plummer hits it up underneath to Frank Sanders. Fumbles the football. Picked up by Mario Edwards. And this is going to be Cowboy football.
And that's what this Cowboys team needs, is some turnovers to give the young quarterback, Stoerner, more chances in this ball game. It's going to take him a while to find a groove.
This is what Darren Woodson talked about. Just wait for him to make a mistake.
And the Cowboys have been very good this year at getting fumbles out. The one thing they haven't done is get many interceptions.
Looks like that win. Or, I'm sorry, you're right. Coakley, 52, knocked it out.
Mario Edwards picks it up. Big play for the Cowboys.
2 seconds left in the first quarter. Stoerner goes on the ground, and they run the reverse, and here comes the rocket. And Ishmael's got room, tripped up by Lucas, but he gets it into Cardinal territory. So the Cowboys get a little bit of momentum at the end of the first quarter. 3-0 Arizona, and Fox NFL Sunday will continue from Dallas after these messages. The Cowboys have wrested momentum from Arizona here early on in the ball game. Start of the second quarter. Cowboys have the ball in Arizona territory for the first time at the 45, 1st and 10. And Clint Stoerner hands it off to Hambrick. Hambrick takes it up the middle. Ray Bentley along here with Jeff Logman. Jeff, it was pretty much Arizona, and then they Cowboys took the momentum there at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, they did. And talking to Dave McGinnis before the game, he said, hey, look, one of the biggest things for us to have success is to eliminate the mistakes, and that's penalties, and the other thing is turnovers. Turnovers is the single most determining factor in any football game. Well, now you've got about 33 consecutive games where the Cardinals have had a turnover.
That's right. In fact, it is 33 consecutive games now for Arizona, turning the football over, and Dallas is on the move after taking it away. And now completion down the end to Joey Galloway, a gain of 18, and Clint Stoerner, his biggest play as a Cowboy.
There was a big question mark whether Joey Galloway was going to play in this ball game. You know, the one thing you'd like to have when you've got a young quarterback is a group up front that's getting the job done. And look at the protection up front by Garmin, Stepnoski, and Larry Allen. And watch Galloway. He's working against Corey Chavis. And the one thing about this play is Galloway does a nice job of pushing Corey Chavis upfield, so when he comes back, he's got a good bit of space between himself and Chavis.
Stoerner fumbles the snap, picks it back up. Pump fake, and now he's got a wide open tight end Harris in the end zone, and he misses. And right now, we'll take a shot out to Los Angeles. Here's JB.
Ray and Jeff, take a look at Eric Metcalf, just signed on Wednesday. You remember before, he was with Schottenheimer in Cleveland. 89-yard punt return. He takes it to pay dirt. 12 career returns for a touchdown. That is an NFL record, and surprisingly, Skins on top of the Giants, 14-0. Ray Bentley, Jeff Logan.
Thank you, JB. You get your guys in, things happen.
I played high school football against Eric Metcalf, and he is a very talented individual. You just show up and then return a punt for a touchdown. Amazing.
That is amazing. Cowboys, Emmitt Smith off the left side, inside the 20 down to the 19-yard line. And the Cowboys have a nice little drive going here. As you look at the first quarter and the stats there, Dallas only had the ball for 8 plays in the first quarter. So Arizona's, that's the thing that they've wanted to do, control the football. They feel that that's how their football team is now, and they were able to do so here in the first quarter.
And then the one thing that's just killing the Cowboys, and it has been all year, is 11 yards passing. 2 plays ago, Clint Stoerner had an opportunity to hit the tight end, Jackie Harris, up the sideline for 6, and he missed him.
3rd and 5, blitz comes, Stoerner runs the inside pitch, and this is Michael Wiley for the first down.
That's the kind of thing that they're going to have to do if they're going to have success with Clint Stoerner, the old shovel pass. And this is Wiley right here in the formation. He just runs up underneath. And, I think the reason that this play works for the Cowboys now is because the Cowboys have been running options in the past with Anthony Wright and Quincy Carter. So a lot of teams, when they see that action, are thinking option right away.
Right, and the option was inside rather than outside.
Exactly, and that was a nice play for the Cowboys.
We'll get it, we'll get it, we'll get it.
So the ball is just outside the 10-yard line, so the Cowboys can get a first down. 1st and 10, Harris comes back in, and blitz comes again. He loses the football. Clint Stoerner fumbled his 2nd snap on this series, and it's going to be Arizona ball from the initial signal, and it is.
That's the 2nd time that he's had problems with the snap from Mark Stepnoski. And you're not talking a young center here. You're talking an experienced center. The ball comes up, Stoerner comes out, comes without it. One thing about, we were talking to Corey Chavis, and he did mention about Stoerner's problems in the past with getting snaps.
3-0 Arizona.
One satellite entertainment provider. By Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers. By Burger King, home of the Whopper. And by Visa, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
Clint Stoerner's fumble cost the Cowboys their first good opportunity of the day. Arizona takes over. 1st and 10 from their own 9. Pittman, he's got both hands on the ball. He is thrown down by Marcus Steele. But in that last Cowboy drive, after they recovered a fumble, Clint Stoerner fumbled twice. And the second one they lost, and now he's trying to work it out with center Mark Stepnoski. But I think this is on Stoerner.
And look at Stoerner when he's up under center, and he's actually starting to back away before he gets all of the ball. And his lower hand actually drops about 8 to 10 inches away from his upper hand. To me, that's Stoerner's fault.
Yeah, and his hands aren't up in there far enough, and you also, when the center's got to fire out, so you've got to ride him with those hands, and Stoerner didn't do that. Plummer, play action. He dumps it underneath. Caught by Boston. Look at the strength of David Boston, breaking a couple of tackles, but now he is corralled, and it's a short gain on the play.
A nice effort by David Boston, breaking the tackle from Dexter Coakley. And believe it or not, David Boston weighs more than Dexter Coakley. David Boston is 237 pounds, and Coakley is only 230 pounds. And Coakley comes up and gives him a good shot, and Boston, he bounces off of Boston like it was no big deal.
And there's David Boston, and you see he's 6'2", 237. The Dallas linebackers average 6 foot, 236. He's bigger than the Cowboy average linebacker. That's a load for a wide receiver. Plummer underneath to Boston, and Boston gets the first down, makes a move, and gets it up to the 26-yard line. Pickup of 12. Right now, let's go down to the sidelines, and here is our sideline reporter for today, DJ Johnson. DJ.
Hey, guys. Cardinals tight end Terry Hardy was taken into the locker room to have x-rays done on his shoulder. When he returned, of course, he wanted to go back in, but the doctor worked it around for a while and said, you cannot raise your arm high enough to go back in right now. So they're going to ice him for now. His return is questionable. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, DJ. And Tywan Mitchell is the replacement for Terry Hardy at tight end.
And I think he's probably a little bit better of a player for the Cardinal offense because he's more of a receiving threat.
You see Mitchell go in motion. Plummer zips it in, and it's incomplete. Tried to hit Marte Jenkins, and he had some heat on that one, and Jenkins, his arms got short. A lot of traffic in there.
Yeah, his arms got real short. I think he saw number 28 standing back there and was thinking that he was going to get hit in the mouth.
See Plummer's numbers here on the day, 9 of 12 for 78 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. And we talked to Jake Plummer. He's got 2 consecutive games where he hasn't thrown interceptions. And you asked him about that, and he said, next question.
Yeah, he didn't want to talk about it a whole lot. But the one thing the Cardinals haven't been able to do here today is run the football. Cowboys are dominating them in the running game.
Pittman tries to get outside, and again, nowhere to go as the Dallas defense is there. Right now, it's 14 carries, 54 yards for that Cardinal running game.
When you're playing the Arizona Cardinals offense, you know that they're going to be big up front, so you've got to be able to get penetration and keep from getting pushed off the ball. Michael Myers got pushed off the ball. But the one thing about the Dallas defense, their linebackers are quick and they are fast. So if you're going to get a hole, you've got to hit it fast.
Third and 8. Plummer ducks. Stays alive, gets a block, and now he lays it down short of the first down. Plummer ducked it. It was like he was expecting to get hit, and he didn't. Stood back up and tried to make something happen.
And Plummer's telling Tywan Mitchell that don't block behind me, get out in front. And here's Woodson covering Tywan Mitchell. Look at Woodson coming up. He was ready to make a play on Plummer. He's pointing right there to tell Tywan Mitchell, don't worry about what's behind me. I'll outrun that. Get out in front so I can get a first down.
They come up 2 yards short. Scott Player has to punt, hangs this one very high. Kenyon Rambo makes the catch. Rambo gets a block, but it was a clip, and a second flag comes in, and Rambo, a lot of excitement, runs out of bounds, but this thing's going to come back. That's Kobe Reinhardt laying on the ground. He was the victim of one of those illegal blocks.
I tell you what, he took a big shot from Jason Bell. And if they threw a flag on that block, in my opinion, it was a good, clean block. That was it.
Yeah, the clip came prior to that.
During the return, holding 55, Dallas, 10 yards. Timeout.
Marcus Steele. He's caught holding. We've got an injury timeout. Arizona up 3-0.
return. The clip actually comes when Marcus Steele actually gets this guy right there. That's the clip. It's more of a tackle. But I'm telling you what, Reinhardt is fortunate right there to walk off of the field. He's okay, but you've got to have your head on a swivel.
Big hole for Emmitt Smith off to the left side. Smith for 13 yards. Justin Lucas brings him down. And Emmitt now with 4 carries, 25 yards on the day.
And Emmitt Smith kind of came out of a shell a little bit Monday night against the Redskins. Prior to the Redskins game, he was averaging 1.7 yards per carry. That's not very good. That's not what you would expect from a Hall of Fame guy. But after the Redskins game, now he's averaging 3.6.
And he had a couple of big runs taken back due to penalties in that Redskin game. And here's Smith again off to the left side. Give him 7 more. And Emmitt Smith starting to heat up here for the Cowboys.
The other thing that's happened with this Dallas backfield is Robert Thomas had ankle surgery and is gone for the year. So what they did is they actually moved Emmitt's backup, Troy Hambrick, over to fullback. And he's doing a pretty good job so far in the game, and he's getting a few carries. But sometime throughout this game, Troy Hambrick will be the tailback and will get some carries because he is a very talented running back.
2nd and 2, we talked to Hambrick, and he said he's been eating like crazy trying to build himself back up to fullback weight. He weighs in at 237. And here's Galloway on a quick screen on the backside, and he'll get the first down.
And a nice play who I think is what might be Arizona's best defender so far this year, and that's Kwame Lassiter. I mean, this guy, game in and game out, he's been there for the Cardinals. 3 interceptions on the year. He's good against the run. He's as complete a safety as you could want. There's not a whole lot of free safeties that like to hit, as you can tell by the other side of the field.
You aren't talking about George Teague, are you?
Maybe.
But Lassiter has taken the leadership mantle for this defense now that Aeneas Williams is gone as well. As Smith on the cutback. David Barrett and Lassiter in on the stop. But Emmitt Smith, his 3rd carry on this drive, and he's got it heated up a little bit, and he's following Troy Hambrick.
And Hambrick, the one thing that they've changed a little bit, and a few weeks ago, they actually were doing a lot of bounce running, that zone scheme that the Denver Broncos had made famous. Well, talking to Mark Stepnoski, he said, you know, the coaches sometimes have too much time to think. They got rid of it. Now it's downhill again, and that's what Emmitt does best.
He runs best between the tackles, without a doubt. 2nd and 4, and he'll run it outside behind Larry Allen. And Allen just mauls Corey Chavis, and Emmitt Smith gets the first down behind him.
This play all started by the block of Troy Hambrick. This is him in motion, and take a look at the block that he's going to get on LeVar Woods on the edge of the defense. He just collapses LeVar Woods and allows Larry Allen to get out in front. I can't imagine being a defensive back and seeing number 73, all 6'3", 326 pounds, coming full speed at me. I'd probably feel like George Teague every now and again.
1st and 10. And this is Hambrick in the backfield, and Hambrick shows you why he's a top runner. He gets the, hey, you throw a few blocks, we'll give you the football, pick up 9 yards.
Well, you've got to throw your dog a bone every now and again. And when the guy's playing fullback, what they did is they move Huggins in a fullback and give Emmitt a rest, and Troy comes in and gets the toss play. The interesting thing, though, that Dave Campos said about Troy Hambrick, he said in the past he's just been a changeup back. He says, but right now, because we're very comfortable getting Troy in critical situations. That's a lot of confidence in a young back.
Hambrick stays in that tailback spot on 2nd and 2. Cowboys' 7th play of the drive. They stay on the ground, and Hambrick picks up the first down. McKinnon makes the tackle, and Troy Hambrick loses his helmet, but he ain't losing his head.
He's a fun guy to talk to, and you would think that the release of his brother this week, Darren, the linebacker, would have had a big effect on him. I mean, Troy, up to be quite honest, said, you know, it probably will be good for him. He's got to learn from it and move on. And, of course, Darren Hambrick got picked up by the Carolina Panthers. It has not left a bad taste in Troy's mouth whatsoever.
No, and it was handled professionally. He said Jerry Jones called him and told him this is what we're going to do. And he said he felt good about it anyway. I mean, as good as you can. But he understood. This one incomplete to Galloway, as Cowboys have been getting it done on the ground. They throw a pass in there, and Stoerner now 4 of 9 on the day for 42 yards.
And Galloway against Corey Chavis, the Cardinals cornerback, and he's playing off a little bit, respecting Galloway's speed. The Dallas Cowboys are a tremendous running football team. They need to find a way to get better in the passing game because they haven't been doing it at all.
And it's timeout on the field. We'll take it as well. 3-0 Arizona.
Then I had a taste.
Passing yards for the Cowboys. Last in the NFL, 115 yards. So far today, 42 yards on 4 of 9 for Clint Stoerner. They've done it on the ground this drive. Here's Emmitt Smith back in, and Smith cuts back and give him 3 more. And this has been a good drive for Emmitt Smith in the Cowboy ground game.
And Emmitt has been solid today. He's been running hard. And I don't know if Emmitt Smith early in this season was running hard on every play like he can, but today he is running hard. This drive, 6.8 yard average, having a real good day. Now he's out, and then all of a sudden you bring in the changeup back, and instead of Hambrick, now it's Michael Wiley, who really has become a 3rd down specialist back for the Cowboys.
3rd and 7. And Stoerner shows you some moves, and Clint Stoerner picks up the 1st down on a quarterback draw. 13 yards on the ground for Stoerner.
And he is a mobile guy. We asked him if they'd had the option in the game plan. He said, no, I don't run the option very well. But, well, the quarterback draw is something that's pretty well. And look at Stepnoski does a nice job of putting number 72, Jabari Issa, on the ground, opening up the middle of the defense so that he can get through and down the field. Nice job by Clint Stoerner. Real nice job.
Keeping the drive alive. 11th play of this drive for the Cowboys. 60 yards, chewed up on the ground, and they're going for more with Emmitt Smith, and he is stopped in the backfield. Nowhere to go. Ronald McKinnon got him down. The initial penetration from Baron Tanner.
We talked to Dave McGinnis about his defense and them having to trick it up. Well, the Cowboys offense is having to trick it up as well today.
You saw Larry Allen on the sideline. He's out. We'll find out about that. 2-minute warning here in Dallas. 3-0 Arizona. Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league, and the Fox Sports ticker will keep you updated with up to the second stats. 12th play of this drive. Stoerner, his pass is batted away, and now it's incomplete. And that's a nice job on the defense there by Fred Wakefield. The rookie got his hands up.
And we saw Larry Allen go off the field, and he was over there with an oxygen mask, and I think one of the big reasons for this is because of the long drive. Nice job by Fred Wakefield of getting his hands up in the air. Something to remember, Stoerner's not a very tall guy, but he's got to find the lanes to throw it through.
Wakefield's tall, 6'7". 3rd and 14. Ishmael in motion, ends up in the backfield, and he's an outlet, and they throw it over there. Stoerner hits Ishmael. Big block from Allen, and Ishmael gets it down close to the 1st down. Larry Allen sent Corey Chavis into the bench area.
Unbelievable. And we talk about the Cowboys wanting to trick it up. Well, here it is again, tricking it up. Ishmael, and look at Larry Allen. Look at the block that he gets on Ronaldo Hill. Here he is. And watch Larry Allen get out in front. There he is. There he goes right there. What a devastating block. The Dallas Cowboys are tricking it up to have success, just like the Cardinals felt they had to do to have success.
And a timeout is taken by the Cowboys. They have 1 left. They're knocking on the door, but they trail by 3. The field goal to tie it up potentially is Tim Cedar. You see 7 of 11 on the year. This one coming from 31 yards. Cedar has the only rushing touchdown on the year for the Cowboys, but he kicks it this time, and it's up, and it's good, and we're all tied up here. 3-3, a big drive for the Cowboys, featuring Emmitt Smith prominently on this drive. And it's Emmitt Smith Day here as DJ Johnson has that story. DJ.
Yeah, guys, the Cowboy consecutive game sellout streak now stands at 92. But earlier this week, they were in danger of not reaching 92 until a promotion called Catch 22. Now, this promotion, Catch 22, is a $35 package deal where you get a ticket to the game, a hot dog, a soda, and Emmitt Smith. Get the bobblehead Emmitt Smith doll, and it's been a big thing here. Everyone wants one. They've almost kicked my rear end on the sideline trying to steal it from me, but I asked Emmitt about it earlier. He said, well, I don't think it looks exactly like me, but it's a great honor. Not many people get to have this done in their likeness, and he loves it. The fans love it. It's been a great deal for the Cowboys here. Back up to you guys.
Hey, DJ, you can keep the bobblehead doll. How about bringing me that hot dog up here?
There you go.
All yours, Jim, all yours.
Getting a little hungry. It's
That's
halftime.
right, halftime sustenance is needed here. Mike Kennard to kick off for the Cowboys after that 14-play drive. And it's Marte Jenkins. Jenkins on the return. And Jenkins gets it up to the 27-yard line. A 20-yard return for Marte Jenkins. Izell Reese made the tackle. And that was a great drive for the Cowboys. Coming into today's game, they had just 5 drives of 10 plays or longer. You see this one, a 14-play, 74 yards, 6 minutes 53 seconds off the 6 minutes 53 seconds off the clock. And Big Larry Allen had to take a blow in that one.
That's how you could tell that it was a long drive, because Larry Allen was on the sideline getting oxygen. And right here, you know, with a minute left before the half, Jake Plummer talked about the corners being subpar for Dallas. Well, he needs to get after him here in this 2-minute drive.
Plummer goes from the shotgun on 1st and 10 and dumps it underneath, and Pittman can't hold it. And Pittman, I think, was hearing little footsteps. He was looking for Michael Myers.
One reason that they're having a hard time of getting the matchups that they want is because Dallas has been doing a good job of stopping Arizona's run early in this ball game, and it's allowing Dallas to play a lot of cover 2. And what cover 2 is that you're only playing 7 guys up in the box, and your safeties are deep. Well, that gives the safeties a chance to double up your wideouts to help your cornerbacks, and that's been what Dallas has been doing.
Plummer, 3-step slant, complete to Boston. Boston slammed down hard by Pat Dennis after a gain of 11. Arizona moves the chains. They're in the hurry-up mode. Cardinals with 3 timeouts remaining. 40 seconds left here to play in the first half. Plummer gets it batted away. Greg Ellis got the hands on it, almost picked it off.
And Greg Ellis is their best defensive lineman that they have. He does a good job in the running game at the end spot, and on 3rd down, he's moving into the defensive tackle spot with Michael Myers, and they bring in Byron Frisch to the outside, and they're doing a nice job. Now, this is what I'm talking about cover 2 and not having success on the outside. Those 2 guys, Darren Woodson and George Teague, are helping out the cornerbacks, Hawthorne, as well as Mario Edwards. When you've got those safeties over the top, it's hard to get deep on corners.
You got 5 underneath. It's hard to get it in there, but Plummer does. Complete to Frank Sanders, 14 yards, and the Cardinals use their first timeout. We'll take one as well. 3-3 here in Dallas.
What they're doing is covering halves of the field. Well, when they're doing that, they're over the top, taking the big plays away. This is the area that you have to work, the underneath. You've got to be patient, something that Jake Plummer in the past has not been, but he's doing it today.
Cover 2 again. Plummer rolls it outside. It's complete to Marte Jenkins. Jenkins gets out of bounds to stop the clock with 19 seconds left here in the first half. Cardinals now in Cowboy territory. Ball marked at the 44-yard line. They need about 15 yards to get into field goal range.
Well, and you got to remember one thing, that Bill Gramatica, their kicker, has got a pretty strong leg.
Yeah, maybe they could get it in 5 yards. You know, you get 15 and you're kicking from right around that 50-yard mark. Gramatica hit a 65-yarder in college. Sanders First down, and the Cardinals will use their second timeout. They've got one left. We'll take another one as well. 3-3. The score here in Texas.
Why do I rent from Enterprise? For more.
His brother Martin Gramatica. Those are the longest 2 kicks in NCAA history. The Gramatica boys are owners of them. Martin, he's a little older. He's a little longer by 2 yards.
And so Jake Plummer right here, they've got one timeout left. He can throw the ball in between the sidelines, but just do not turn the ball over.
Plummer on a 3-step. Now he dumps it underneath, and it is picked off. Picked off by DeJuan Hawthorne.
And that is not Jake Plummer's fault. Tywan Mitchell, who's right here in the formation, comes across. And Jake Plummer has to find him late. The ball is right there in the chest. And when Tywan bobbling the ball, it gives DeJuan Hawthorne an opportunity to make a play.
Hawthorne in his first NFL start gets his first NFL interception. Thwarts a Cardinal drive with 6 seconds left here. All tied up. And it was all Arizona early in the first quarter. The Cowboys only ran 8 plays in that first quarter. They got a turnover there right at the quarter change. Got a little momentum back. Clint Stoerner had a nice drive where they mostly ran the football. But that is the end of the first half. Arizona 3, Dallas 3. And Fox NFL Sunday will continue from the studio after these messages and a word from your local Fox station.
You have a quarterback starting for the first time in Texas Stadium. How do you think he's fared so far?
Well, I think he's handled himself pretty well. We've moved the ball all the way down the field 2 or 3 times. We just haven't come up with any points. That fumbled snap, you know, that was critical in this first half. We need more points.
So that was you tell your team at the half?
Yeah, we need to come out and get something going. We're moving all over the place. When we get inside the 20-yard line, we got to get some points. There's no question.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Thanks, DJ. We'll return for the start of the second half after these messages from your local Fox station.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
Time, Ray Bentley along with Jeff Lageman. And Jeff, not much offense in this game. It's been a little sloppy. Some turnovers have really hurt the Cowboys early on.
You're talking, especially with the Cowboys, you're not talking a high-powered offense. And then when you start adding turnovers to the mix, you make it a completely ineffective offense. And the fumbled snap by Clint Stoerner was a big one. The first one didn't cost him anything, but the second one cost him potentially 7 points. And Jake Plummer in this game, Sanders with a critical error, and that continued the fumble streak, as well as you've got the interception, but it was not Jake Plummer's fault, the intention ball for Tywan Mitchell.
Right, and that came at the end of the half where the Cardinals were driving, trying to get into Gramatica field goal position. They were there, and next to the last play of the half, an interception, not Jake Plummer's fault.
Yeah, they basically had an opportunity for 3 points. They were close enough, so Gramatica had an opportunity. But all of a sudden, then you turn the ball over, it eliminates that opportunity. You know, statistically speaking, again, the Cowboys are just having a hard time throwing the football. And you're talking against a defense that's missing 4 starters on the Cardinals.
Jake Plummer has thrown the 1 interception that we talked about, and interceptions have been the bane of his career. And you see when it's tied up, that's when he throws the fewest amounts of interceptions. But boy, when they're trailing 65 times, he's thrown it. And that's just a product twofold. I think, one, you're trying to catch up. You know, and so you're going to throw the ball more, and also you're going to take more chances. We'll see what kind of chances he takes here in the second half as Kenyon Rambo takes his chance with the return, and he's stopped here at the 27-yard line, a 19-yard return. And coming out of the tunnel, DJ Johnson caught up with Dave McGinnis here before the start of this half. DJ.
Coach McGinnis, you're missing 4 defensive starters in this game, but they fared pretty well so far.
Well, they're hanging in there. We're letting them run the football on us too easy, DJ, and we've got to get something going with our running game. And plus, you know, you can't turn the ball over. Now, we got a turnover that helped us, but we've got to run the football on offense, and we've got to find some way to stop them from running the football. They controlled it too much in that second quarter.
Good luck in the second half. Thanks, Coach. Back up to you guys.
All right, thank you, DJ. 1st and 10, Cowboys. Clint Stoerner, play action. And it breaks down, and Stoerner is going to be sacked. Fred Wakefield flipped his ankle. That's the first time Stoerner's been sacked today.
Head coach Dave McGinnis talked about the importance of doing a better job of stopping the run of Dallas. But if you think about it, it's not costing them any points. You know, Dallas has not had a rushing touchdown all year long. So, I mean, Dallas is not going to put you away by running the football. They've got to develop something in their passing game. As long as the Cardinals can keep them from doing that defensively, they'll have success.
On 2nd and 13, they go to the ground with Emmitt Smith. Smith makes the first man miss, which he's done most of his career. Picks up a couple, and he's going to bring up a 3rd and long. Coming up next, it's Game 2 of the World Series, presented by Budweiser, a matchup of 2 dominating lefties. The Yankees look to even the series against the Diamondbacks. Game 2 of the World Series beginning next here on Fox.
Here brings up, this is a 3rd and 9 situation, a perfect opportunity to maybe get a turnover yourself defensively if you're Dave McGinnis by blitzing. But they're choosing to go into only a 3-down lineman. Look.
And they bring 4 out of that look, and Stoerner. He has time. He goes over the middle, and it's complete. This one to Ismail. 20 yards on the hookup, and Stoerner looked pretty good on the play action.
The Rockets at the top of the screen right here matched up against Corey Chavis, the right cornerback, and he is in a trail technique. But knowing it, he's got help from Kwame Lassiter over the top. But the one thing that Ismail does is bends the route in, and the Darren Chiaverini had already run off Dustin Lucas, so he didn't have any help.
Ismail, 2 catches, 32 yards on the day. Stoerner back to the air. He unloads this one. He's going deep. And it's incomplete. He was looking for Galloway, and now the flag comes out on the play. Chavis with the coverage. He doesn't agree with it.
And this is a good call. Corey Chavis, before the ball even got there, grabbed him and held him up.
That's it. Pass interference. A big one against the Cardinals.
Interference, 25, Arizona. 1st down, Dallas.
47-yard penalty.
As you'll see, when Corey Chavis closes the gap, the contact occurs right there. That arm slows him down. You've got to be able to shoot your right arm up to knock the ball and then get your left arm on his body at the same time so you do not get the call.
I don't agree with you.
Hey, that's the one thing about the referees is that when it's close and it's out in the wide open like that, they're going to call it more times than not.
I think that's a bad call. Nonetheless, Emmitt Smith tries the right side, and he is stopped, nowhere to go. David Barrett there. But that's the beauty of a call. I mean, it's a judgment call down the field, and that's what's going to happen.
It is, and I think it's a good call, though, because he used that left hand to actually slow him up just enough to where it impeded Joey Galloway's progress.
Let's take another look here.
Watch the left hand right there. That slows him up. You can see he's got his shoulder. And to me, that's a good call. We can argue about it, though.
No, I'm going to change my mind if you don't mind. I didn't see that the first time through. You're right. Good call. But I automatically, want to give a guy a break. You're right. That was a good call. Play action. Stoerner. Stoerner stays alive. Stoerner now forced out of bounds by Fredrickson. And you hear Stoerner. He wanted the face match call.
And Stoerner does have good scrambling ability. But scrambling ability is not going to get you into the end zone in 6 points. So that's one thing the players have said about him. You heard him talking about face mask. The guy is a true competitor. And from talking with Troy Hambrick, he said, you know what, you put me on the field with a guy that's hungry like Clint Stoerner any day of the week, and I'll play hard with the guy.
3rd and goal. Quarterback draw, Stoerner. Touchdown, Cowboys.
nice play call by offensive coordinator Jack Rowley. This kind of like what Dave McGinnis said once again, tricking it up. You can see the two defenders right up in the middle when they back up. And look at a block by Jackie Harris, and Stoerner goes to the outside where the play was actually designed not to be run. The play was designed to be run right up the middle over Stepnoski like it was before.
Stoerner found the seam, and Cedars' kick is good, and the Cowboys come out here and get the second half rocking and rolling. They're up now 10-3.
Brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
Clint Stoerner scores the second rushing touchdown of the year for the Cowboys on a quarterback draw, capped off a 6-play, 73-yard drive. 47 of those yards came on that pass interference penalty. And Micah Norris' kick comes to Marte Jenkins. Jenkins hurdles, gets hit, the ball is loose. Recovered by the Cowboys. Micah Norris. The Cowboys special teams capitalize on the momentum. Jenkins went up in the air. You don't want to do that.
And hit by guess who?
George Teague, the guy you said wouldn't hit nobody.
That was an excellent job. And Marte Jenkins got into trouble when he goes to jump up over the pile. Instead of keeping that ball hugged in tight against his side, it gets a little loose. And George Teague hits him from the side. Ball comes right out.
Micah Norris recovers that fumble, and the Cowboys just scored a touchdown. They're back in business, 1st and 10 from the Cardinal 47. Play action. Stoerner wants more. He goes up to the corner looking for Galloway, incomplete, and Chavis got the better of that one. Let's go back to that touchdown and show me what happened on this quarterback draw.
It was a design quarterback draw to go up the middle, and Sekou Sanyika, who's on the outside, is contained. He should have made that play in the backfield and just ended the drive altogether, forcing them to kick a field goal. And then you go to the last play. Corey Chavis, excellent coverage on Joey Galloway. He's over the top. He uses his body to shield Joey Galloway from the ability to make the play.
You know, it looked like Galloway had excellent coverage on Chavis. Galloway broke that interception up. Emmitt Smith giving 3. McKinnon makes the tackle.
The other thing to remember about Sanyika playing today, he's playing for Ray Thompson, who Coach McGinnis did not bring on this trip because of his arrest this week. So not only did Ray Thompson hurt himself by getting arrested, but he's hurting his teammates because he might have been the guy that was on the field for that play. He might have made that play. Got to be responsible for your teammates.
Coach McGinnis said that Thompson may not get a job back next week either. Remains to be seen. 3rd and 7. Stoerner overshoots the rocket, incomplete, and Cowboys fail to capitalize on that turnover.
And looking at Stoerner on the play, he said the one guy that he felt he's got pretty good timing with is Ismail. He said, but the one thing about the rocket, he said he stayed with him after practice to work on the timing, and he knew it was there. He knew it was there.
It's an emotional guy. Clint Stoerner, you gotta like that. Norris punt, angles for the corner. Oh, they had a great chance to make a play, but Troy Hambrick didn't know where the football was. So it ends up going into the end zone, a touchback, and the Dallas turnover takeaway amounts to nothing. It's 10-3 Cowboys.
use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Coming up next, it's Game 2 of the World Series presented by Budweiser with a matchup of two dominating lefties. Andy Pettitte and the Yankees look to even the series against Randy Johnson and a Diamondbacks team trying to go 2 up before heading back to the Bronx. Game 2 of the World Series begins next here on Fox. 1st and 10, Plummer under center. Hands it off and nowhere to go for Pittman. That World Series matchup coming up, Jeff. This is going to be a good one, just with the pitchers that are involved. But here's some of the series notes on this. The Yankees, a bit of a dynasty. I mean, it's like going back to the old days. That's your guy?
That's my guy, Counsell. That funny batting stance, we were making fun of him right before he blasted it out of the stadium.
Gets some bat speed with that little look he's got. 2nd and 10, Mitchell in motion. They hand it off to Pittman again. Pittman gets the corner, and Michael Pittman gets a first down and more, giving 12 on that toe.
That's what they need to have to get Dallas to get their safeties up to stop the run. But let's take a look at Leonard Davis against Brandon Noble.
1st and 10, Cardinals.
This turns Brandon Noble to the inside where Noble doesn't even have an opportunity to make the play.
13 carries, 28 yards for Pittman. They run the counter behind Davis, and nowhere to go on that one. Michael Myers got in the hip pocket of the pulling tackle and made a play.
We've seen Larry Allen pull, and Larry Allen does such a fine job of pulling. And on this play, Leonard Davis, the right guard, big as we call him, comes around the corner. Look, I don't think the speed is quite like Larry Allen. But, you know, one of the things that I think is going to help him is when he gets more experience and a better feel for who he's supposed to block, his pulls will get faster.
He may end up playing tackle, too. That's always a possibility. They've talked about that with him, but he's a guard for this year. Plummer dumps it underneath to David Boston, and Boston can't break away. Late hit by Hawthorne there. No flag on it.
The protection that Jake Plummer had on that. Jake Plummer could have sat back there until about now. Nobody was even close to him.
See Plummer against the league average, faring quite well on 3rd down.
And the most important thing with Jake Plummer, up until this game, he has not had an interception on 3rd down.
Cardinals 3 of 7 on 3rd down conversions. This one a 3rd and 10. Plummer has to pull it down. He scrambles again. Nowhere to go this time. He's run down by Byron Frisch.
And he had absolutely no choice but to run. He had 3 people in the routes. He had David Boston, Marte Jenkins, and then Pittman underneath. And all 3 of them were covered. Looks like the Dallas Cowboys were running the routes for them. He had no option whatsoever but to tuck it and run it. And it's smart because I think Jake Plummer in the past might have tried to force it in somewhat.
Rambo back to return. We haven't mentioned that Reggie Swinton out of this game with a hamstring injury. He's the normal return man, and Rambo's taking over those duties today. Takes over from the 25, and Rambo gets it all the way up to the 38-yard line. And we'll take a break. It's the Cowboys 10, Cardinals 3. Right side, 6 consecutive Pro Bowls. Leonard Davis on the bench on the left side. Second pick in the draft from this past year, and both of them are dynamite offensive linemen. They both get it done, and we'll show you a little more about that here when we get a chance in a moment.
The thing about Larry Allen that impresses me is in training camp when he did 700 pounds on the bench. Unreal. And said his goal is 800. I can't even imagine.
Or can I? 1st and 10 Cowboys. They run a quick screen out to Galloway. Galloway gets a couple of yards before Barrett throws him out. Let's take a closer look at Larry Allen and Leonard Smith. Here they are in sync.
Oh, we talked about their two different pulling speeds. There's Larry Allen and there's Leonard Davis. Let's watch it, the different speeds in which they pull. You can see Larry Allen just is way out front. And just like Troy Hambrick said, Emmitt is right behind him and does a good job of punishing somebody because he knows where he's got to block.
That'd be a nightmare regardless of which one of those guys came around the corner. Big play by Marcus Bell, shooting in, a tackle for a loss. He catches Emmitt Smith for a loss of 3 on the play.
And look at Larry Allen against Bell. He blocked him right into the play. Emmitt should have cut right behind off of Larry's behind.
Now, that was one of those scoop stretch plays that they stole from the Denver Broncos that we talked about. That, you know, that's not the kind of runner Emmitt Smith is.
Yeah, Emmitt, for so many years you had Darryl Johnson in front of Emmitt and then just leading Emmitt up into the hole straight downhill. That side-to-side stuff is not Emmitt's strength.
They snap it to Wiley on the direct snap. And they get a first down. Some more trickery from the Cowboy offense.
I have got to give offensive coordinator Jack Rowley some credit. A direct snap to Michael Wiley. When are the plays going to stop? It seems like he's just keeping on reaching back into his pocket and pulling out more what I would call trick plays, something that we're not accustomed to seeing. Quarterback draws, you know, the reverses, the direct snap lead play out of shotgun. But that's what coaches are supposed to do when they're a little depleted with their quarterback position, and they're doing a nice job with it.
Kept the drive alive on 1st and 10. Clint Stoerner is going to be sacked. It's Russell Davis. 3rd sack of the day for the Cardinals.
And the Cardinals haven't been exactly quarterback killers coming into this game. They've only had 6 sacks. And this is Davis right here at the tackle spot. Comes off against Kelvin Garman and does a real nice job of getting under his pads and throwing them off to the side. Take a look at the lift that he does on Garman, right up under his armpit.
If you ever wanted to know what a bull rush was, that's one right there.
That's just pure strength. Pure strength.
Stacking him forever. And they run that screen back to Ishmael. And the Rocket gets tripped up by Zach Walls, but he gets some of it back. He's at midfield. Bring up a 3rd and 12 for the Cowboys, and they're right on track. Their passing yards today. They came in the game last in the NFL with 115.
3rd down, 12.
They've thrown for 73 on the day, so it's about what you've come to expect out of the Cowboys this year.
Well, and if you put that in perspective, if you went and looked at their rankings in the college, they're not even faring very well.
Oh, we'll show you those rankings after this play. A 3rd and 12. Cowboys 5 of 9 on 3rd down conversions. Stoerner over the middle. It's complete to the tight end Harris, but it's going to be short of the first down. And let's go back to that. If the Cowboys were a Division I team, and then we throw them in there statistically, you can see that they're about 115th or so in the nation, right above Notre Dame there.
There's only 117 teams in Division I-A. I mean, they're right at the bottom. It shows how much they really are struggling. And right here, if I'm the Cardinals, I'm playing for a fake. I'm not trusting Joe Avezzano in this field position right here.
Well, they're struggling because of the lack of continuity at the quarterback spot. Stoerner, the 3rd quarterback that they've started this year, and really the 4th that they've had to deal with Tony Banks. And this one's going to be down right there inside the 1-yard line. A great special teams play by Jason Bell. A 42-yard punt down right there at the 1, so the Cardinals will come out backed up.
It's proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 36. By cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Never miss a genuine opportunity. By The One, starring Jet Li, rated PG-13, opens November 2nd. And by Nike.
The Arizona Cardinals coming out of the shadow of their end zone. There's Leonard Davis. He casts a shadow.
And look at all the Cowboy defenders right up in the line of scrimmage.
First and goal from their own 1 coming out. It's not first and goal, but they're at their goal. This is very close to a safety, but Pittman did get out back to the original line of scrimmage. Let's head down to the sidelines. DJ Johnson has more on the size of Leonard Davis. DJ.
Ray and Jeff, what we're looking at right here is the USS Leonard Davis. I mean, this right here is an aircraft carrier. Size 17 in Reebok. He says he wears size 18 in Nike. And this, it's something to compare it to. Here's my shoe. This is my shoe right here. An average, I wear size 11, 11 and a half. And that right there is drastic, my friends. You know, this is a guy you'd hate stepping on you or hate kicking you in the rear. Back up to you guys.
Right on both counts.
My goodness.
And it is too loud in here to even get anything going. And they take a timeout on the field. We'll take one as well as the Cowboys fans heat it up. They lead by 7. Jay Johnson here, and the Arizona Cardinals had to use 1 timeout trying to get a play off, and the Cowboy fans are back into it again. Plummer, play action, nowhere to go, scrambles it, it's knocked away. A big defensive play by Marcus Steele. Plummer was just trying to throw it in there to Makovicka to get a little room. No room, nothing happening here.
And defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer did a nice changeup. He was expecting pass to where they weren't all bunched in line of scrimmage expecting run. They were expecting pass. Jake Plummer almost made a critical mistake. He's out of the pocket. He should have just grounded the ball into the ground around the line of scrimmage because he almost gave up a huge interception to Marcus Steele.
3rd down. The crowd's at it again. Plummer dumps it underneath to Pittman, but there's a flag. A whistle actually stopped the play before it started, I believe. Just too loud to tell.
Prior to the ball being snapped, Arizona would delay a game, half the distance to the goal, and keep 3rd down.
They're only going to get louder now.
Well, and I tell you what, that's probably what Jake Plummer should have done earlier when he called timeout. The ball was only on the 1-yard line. Instead of burning the timeout, he should have just taken the delay of game. It only moves the ball back about a foot. And in this case, I think he did the smart thing because he only lost about 6 inches.
Here we go again, 3rd and 10. Plummer jump pass, intercepted, Coakley, touchdown Cowboys. Give the fans, the 12th man, the assist on that one. Plummer had 4 tries to try and get something going from there, and the crowd noise disturbed him every time. And it finally forced him into a grievous error, an interception thrown to Coakley for the touchdown. And Tim Cedar adds the extra point, and the Cowboys now go up 17-3.
Jake Plummer was under pressure in his own end zone. All they do is bring 4 guys on the pressure. And Byron Frisch does a nice job right here of getting the pressure up into Jake Plummer as well. There's number 93, Pepe Zellner. Now the big question mark in my mind is, look, there's nobody. There's nobody in a red jersey within 15, 20 yards.
Who you throwing to? I mean, eat it at that point or throw it, you know, to up in the stands, but that's just a grievous error by great Jake Plummer. And you saw Plummer's reaction at the end of that thing. He just kept his face buried into the turf in the back of the end zone here in Texas Stadium.
And as you can see, Dave Brown talking to Jake Plummer on the sideline. Dave Brown has been what Dave termed his psychologist this year on the sideline to keep Jake motivated and to kind of help him control his emotions. And I'm sure Dave Brown is trying to work his magic on the sideline because that was a big mistake. No excuse for that play.
And Derek Coakley, his second career touchdown on an interception return. Coakley all over the field. He's forced a fumble. He's got a pass defense, 4 tackles, and then that big play for the touchdown. And Marte Jenkins, who fumbled the last one, holds on. Actually, it comes out, but it's already down. Now, last year, the Cowboys won 48-7 over these Cardinals here at Texas Stadium, and this is the kind of day Jake Plummer had then.
And Jake Plummer, when he gets pressure, he has been known to throw off of his back foot, and the ball either sails high or falls short on him. And the Cowboys were able to get pressure on that one play, and it looked just like last year.
And there he was after he threw that interception, as I said, supine in the end zone, face down.
He knows that he cannot make mistakes. As he said, we can do some things if it's not me throwing picks. Well, he did on that last play.
Pittman. He runs into a fired-up Dallas defense. Dat Wynn and Coakley there to stop it for little or no gain.
The Dallas defense, considering the quality of their offense this year, their defense is doing a pretty good job. Their offense hasn't given them a whole lot of breaks so far this year, but the Dallas defense has been solid. And especially today, they've all but eliminated the Cardinals' rushing attack.
You see the takeaways. The Cowboys, the production. 14 of their 17 off of turnovers. Plummer dumps it underneath to Pittman. And Pittman very close to a first down. Looks like where they're going to mark it, they'll give him a first down. Orontes Grant makes the play for the Cowboy defense. Cardinal offense has really struggled here in the second half.
Yeah, they have, but most importantly, they've struggled in the running game. This offense has to function in the running game to take a lot of the pressure off of Jake Plummer.
Play action by Plummer. He drops it underneath again. Thomas Jones makes the catch.
Plummer's pass completed number 26.
Gets half the necessary yardage for the first down, and the Dallas Cowboys came out here in the second half, an inspired football team, and they've rung up 14 points, and they've done a great job taking that football away and punching it in. So that's the end of the third quarter. Dallas 17, Arizona 3. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a word from your local Fox station.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
He's pitching a heck of a game here. His Cowboys defense is playing outstanding in that third quarter, Jeff. 11 plays. They gave up only 33 yards to the Cardinals.
Great effort so far by this Dallas defense, no question.
Plummer to the air. He's got a man wide open down there. That's David Boston. How do you let Boston get that wide open?
Well, you know, coming into the game that David Boston is the focal point in the passing game. How in the world he can remain uncovered 30 yards down the field is baffling to me. Well, what happens is George Teague is in cover 2, and he ends up leaning over towards Sanders.
A great way to attack cover 2 is to get multiple people vertical. And now you've got, that's right, you got 2 safeties back there, and they got a lot of room to cover, and if you put 2 guys over there, that's a tough call. Who do I get? Plummer hits Sanders on the slant. Frank Sanders picks up 12 yards, and let's look at that cover 2 on that last play, and you can expound.
Now, when you look at it, here's George Teague covering the half of the field. Now, when he's responsible for that half of the field, here's the 2 receivers, Sanders and Boston. When they get to Teague's level here,
He's got to make a decision. Which guy am I going to cover? Well, he takes the deepest right here, and Sanders is leaning this way. Well, here's Boston running over to the sideline. And he's also got to get some help from his cornerback, Mario Edwards. He's got to get in the trail position.
Plummer just gets it away into the end zone. It's caught, but it's incomplete. And that's the tight end, Mitchell. Couldn't get the feet in, and Plummer took a heck of a hit at the end of that play.
He did, but the thing that I liked about it is even though he was under pressure, he put enough air onto this ball to where it was not going to be intercepted. And Darren Woodson, what can you say about this guy? In his 10th year, he's the one mainstay that's been here on this defense for a long time. His play has not dropped off, even though a lot of the play around him has in the recent years.
Woodson, a Phoenix, Arizona native. Jones on the play action. It's complete to Mitchell, but nowhere to go.
Well, and Jake Plummer really missed an opportunity there. He had Sanders, Frank Sanders, in the deeper route on that bootleg. As you'll see, Sanders is in the slot. He's going to run the crossing route. Take a look at him. He had an opportunity for him because the corner's coming up. This is the guy he should have thrown to. It would have been a touchdown.
3rd and 8. Cardinals 4 of 9. On 3rd down conversions. This one huge to get them back into it. Underneath, Thomas Jones. Jones gets the first down.
Thomas Jones. First and 4.
As you can see, a lot of times when Boston and Sanders are in the slot, they get a lot of attention. So the one thing, when that happens, when they're covered up, you've got to go to the guys underneath, especially in cover 2. And Jones does a nice job of keeping separation from middle linebacker Dat Wynn.
Yeah, Wynn had his eyes in the backfield instead of on a man, and that cost him. 1st and goal. They go on the ground. Nowhere to go for Jones.
And Frank Sanders has to make the block on Dexter Coakley. Here's Sanders. You've got to make the block. You got to keep him from getting inside of you. That's why they bring you in motion. Even though you're a wide receiver and you catch balls, you have to block when you're called upon.
10th play of the drive coming up here for the Cardinals. Started on their own 22. Plummer into the end zone, incomplete. It seemed like he was trying to get it to David Boston, and they had different reads on that play. Boston hooked it up. Plummer thought he'd keep going.
And watch David Boston. He's trying to get inside on Mario Edwards, and when he does, he gets cut off. A nice job by Mario Edwards cutting off the inside, and Boston cuts his route off, but Plummer's expecting them to keep going.
See the Cardinals in the red zone today. They go here on 3rd and goal. From the 5. Shuffle pass. Jones, no, it's broken up. Dat Wynn.
I'll tell you what, Dat Wynn saved the play. This is him with the cast on his right hand. Watch him submarine left guard, number 65, Anthony Clement. Or Pete Kendall. He does a nice job of submarining right through his lower part of his body and then getting a piece of Thomas Jones's legs.
That was a great play by a linebacker. Dat Wynn getting up underneath there. And the Cardinals, we're talking about it. They ran out of time, and they take a timeout. That's the 2nd timeout they've used here in the 2nd half, and it's Dallas 17, Arizona 3, 4th down coming up.
What? That's it? Just like that? We're breaking up?
Well, we were never going out.
This Friday, the world's most shallow man will be given the gift to see women in a whole new way.
From this moment on, you're only going to see the inner beauty.
You see that little fox out there? She's with me.
You want to see a splash?
Gwyneth Paltrow, Jack Black.
I saw a knockout. I don't care what anybody else saw.
Shallow Hal. Rated PG-13. Special sneak preview Friday.
It was our first house, and shortly before my parents' grand inspection, there was a tiny problem. I told my State Farm agent I had to get it fixed fast.
When you choose State Farm's Premier Service Claims Program, there's no calling around for estimates. You just go straight to a participating contractor and they'll guarantee their work.
So this is it?
It's just that simple.
Boy, they don't build them like this anymore. No, they don't.
Premier Service, just one more way. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Reinvented Camry. Trust us, you're going to want one.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by the reinvented Toyota Camry. Get the feeling. By UPS, moving at the speed of business. By Visa, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be. And by IBM, taking e-business and your business to the next level.
It's 4th and goal, and Dave McGinnis is going for it. He sent Jake Plummer, the comeback kid, out there. Ball just inside the 5-yard line. Plummer 7 of 9 for 72 yards on this drive. Here we go. Plummer with time into the end zone is tipped, and it is incomplete. Hawthorne got the hand on it first. Big play by the Cowboy defense preserves the lead. It's 17-3 Cowboys.
Saved by zero. Saved by zero.
Get 0% financing for 36 months on new Corollas, 4Runners, and Tundras for a limited time only.
Saved by zero.
Domino's has a hot mix that sounds so good you can taste it. Now you can get a free order of cheesy bread when you buy a large one-topping Domino's pizza for $9.99. So get your free, warm, fresh cheesy bread that's covered with a bumping blend of mozzarella and cheddar cheese. But hold up, if you're flowing duet style, what sounds even better is making it a meal by ordering meaty Domino's buffalo wings with a 2-liter Coke. Call now. Get the door, it's Domino's.
This way. You're not going to believe this.
What was stolen?
Everything. Payroll, R&D, customer records, all the assets.
How could they get everything?
I don't know. You're the cops.
The room is completely empty. All the assets were in this room?
Everything. Ned, the servers. They stole all our servers.
No, we moved everything onto that one. It's going to save us a bundle. I sent out an email.
IBM e-servers running Linux.
What's a server?
They can save you a bundle.
TV Guide says, believe what you've heard. 24 is the best new show of the season.
You ever want to see your daughter again? Get me out of it!
It's like a first-rate summer movie thriller.
Get out!
A sensational adventure. And the most exciting opening night ever.
Who are you working for?
24, the series premiere, Tuesday, November 6th on Fox.
On the last play, Jake Plummer, when he took the snap, he was looking right over to this side of the formation where he had Mitchell, Sanders, and Jenkins. But as you can see, freeze it. Look, they're all covered up. Excellent coverage by Mike Zimmer's defenders.
Stoerner hands it off to Emmitt Smith. Just the 5th carry of this half for Smith, but he gets it out to the 10-yard line. Take another look at that 4th down try from the Cardinals.
And Jake Plummer really wanted Tywan Mitchell, a tight end, because Sanders is just clearing out and crossing through the formation. Initially looks to right up atop to Marte Jenkins, but he can't get off the jam. So then he looks to Tywan Mitchell, and he's nowhere. So at last he tries to go right here to Frank Sanders, and a nice play by number 38, DeJuan Hawthorne.
Cowboys defense shuts it down, and it's 2nd and 4 from at their own 10-yard line. And here comes Larry Allen leading the sweep. And he makes a little bit of room, and right now let's go to Los Angeles. Here's JB.
Ray and Jeff, you know Arizona fans are excited about Game 2 of the World Series. Craig Counsell, NLCS MVP, homered last night in the Diamondbacks' big victory over the Yankees. Derek Jeter, a money player in World Series play, had his 14-game World Series hitting streak ended last night. He's hoping to try to even it up at 1. That'll be World Series baseball following football. Back to Ray and Jeff.
Thank you, JB. Some more good sports coming up on Fox after this football game. Game 2 of the World Series.
Well, hopefully the fans in Arizona will have something better to cheer about after this.
Stoerner. He just throws it away, and a nice decision by Clint Stoerner just to get rid of it. And now there's a flag coming in late. And we'll see what that one's about. Here comes another one. If that's grounding in the end zone, that can be a tough call. Now Stoerner comes over to make a case. He was initially out of that tight end box, and then he came back into it on the scramble, and he just threw it away to avoid a sack. I don't know if that's what the call is here, but that's probably what's being discussed. I don't know if there was a late hit on Stoerner. We'll find out. It is roughing the passer on the Cowboys. I said roughing the passer. I meant illegal grounding of the football was the call. Excuse me.
Intentional grounding inside the 1-yard line. Ball is spotted. If it's spotted, a foul. Loss it down. 4th down.
Here's Clint Stoerner. We'll show it again.
And as you can see, he gets up underneath in pressure, and he's inside that tight end box. And he just throws it to where there's nobody at.
And he's fortunate that he wasn't in the end zone doing that. That had been a safety. But as it was intentional grounding inside the 1. They marked the ball at that spot. And that's where Micah Noor has to punt it out from.
They're going to try to get a good return out of it.
Noor gets it to Arnold Jackson. Jackson fumbles the football, and it's scooped out of bounds. And I believe you're going to have an illegal batting of the ball on the Cowboys. The ball, there is a flag down after the play, but you can't bat the football to try and keep it alive when it's loose and running around. Another discussion by the officials. Joe Avizano along with Dave Campo trying to plead a case over there. Let's take another look at it, and you can see if you're intentionally hitting the ball. Now this is it was an illegal attempt, definitely. When Arnold Jackson lost the football, Orontes Grant came down and he just batted that football to try and keep it alive.
And but first off, it was a bad decision by Arnold Jackson. He had to run forward to the side to try and catch the ball. Just let it bounce. You've got great field position where the ball was going to be at to begin with. When you're a returner, you have to make sure that you can make the catch, and if not, just let it bounce. The ball was hitting right around the 35-yard line to begin with.
Yeah, but there's no reason for Grant to bat the ball forward either. I mean, that's
I think
don't know what you
thinking in
gained
his
by
mind
that.
was just to try to keep it from going out of bounds.
Even that's illegal. The question is, whose football is it and where they're going to put it, and that's what Ron Blum is trying to determine. And now Dave McGinnis and his staff are all the way out almost to the numbers on the other side of the field. They're trying to get their side of this situation heard. So you heard McGinnis. He's going to tell him to kick it again. Here we go.
Illegal batting on the kicking team. Half the distance to the goal from the previous spot. Repeat, 4th down.
Illegal batting on the kicking team. They'll kick it over from inside the 1.
And he should have tried to make the catch, but then as you can see, after the initial try to recover, look at Ronte Skent right there with his left hand, tries to bat it forward.
For what reason? That's just not a heads-up play at all.
And right now, they need to take a shot at blocking this. Down by 14 points in the 4th quarter. Only 9 minutes and 46 seconds left. Take a shot at blocking.
Ball is actually being snapped from just about the Cowboy goal line.
Especially when you have a rookie snapper in there.
Andy Shabrir gets off a good snap, a low line drive kick. And Jackson takes this one on the fly, and he makes the catch. And now he's trying to make something happen. Bounces back outside. Nowhere to go there. That's Hambrick making a special teams play. But the Arizona Cardinals will have excellent field position. They've got it at the Dallas 38 when we come back. Plummer now, he's a big comeback guy. We said earlier he just has to be the operator. Now it looks like he's got to be the savior.
Well, you know, that's what Dave McGinnis told him in the offseason was, you know, you just need to learn how to operate. You know, but right now it's time to be the savior, going back to 1997 and 98 when he was bringing this team back.
Flag down as Plummer's pass incomplete, looking for Mitchell. And Jake Plummer, known early on, you said he had 7 fourth-quarter comebacks in their playoff year in 1998. And he's had one this year already when they came back and won that game against
hands to the face.
Philadelphia.
Number 65 offense, 10 yards, repeat, 1st down.
Once again, mental mistakes, the turnovers and the penalties are hurting this team. But as you can see, this is what it's time for. You know, if you're going to be one of the elite quarterbacks like Jake Plummer is being paid to be, it's time to earn it.
Anthony Clement with that penalty drops him back to a 1st down and 20 situation. See, the penalty yards have killed Arizona. Plummer drops the screen off, and that one is incomplete. And Coakley had a chance for his 2nd interception, but boy, Pittman couldn't catch the ball that was right there to him. And that's 2 mistakes, 2 plays, 2 mistakes for the Cardinals.
Well, and then this all started with the great get-off that Ellis gets at the right end. And watch the great get-off that he gets. And when he does, it forces Plummer to throw it sooner than he wants to, and Pittman's not ready to get the ball. You know how they always say it always starts up front. Well, it started up front on that play. And that's what happens when you go silent count. The Cardinals can't hear the snap count, so they're having to go silent, and it gives them Dallas defenders an edge.
Ellis with a good get-off again, and now they stop the play. The flag is down. I thought he might have been offsides the previous down.
He was close the last time, and there was no doubt this time.
And Shelton may have moved to try and stay up with him.
Ball start, 83 Arizona, 5 yards, repeat, 2nd down.
Actually, Mitchell who tried to get an early start. Another penalty for the shoot yourself in the foot Cardinals.
And this is not what Coach Dave McGinnis expects. I mean, he expects his team to not have the penalties, to not turn the ball over, and that's what he's working towards. But until he can get this defense built up, it's going to be tough not to make some mistakes.
You can see Plummer relatively consistent throughout the ball game. Just the interceptions have killed him. They go the screen the other way to Pittman. He's got some blockers, and he gets it back into Dallas territory up to the 45, an 8-yard gain. And he's going to bring up a 3rd down and long, 3rd and 15 or 16. And this is a tough place to convert.
Yeah, but, you know, one thing Jake Plummer has to remember here is that this is not a 3rd and 15 that he has to make it all in this play. It's 2-down territory. Don't try to get off 15 yards on the first throw, because you're going to have to go for it on 4th down anyway.
Cardinals go without the huddle. Plummer underneath, and that's complete to Mitchell, and Woodson drags him down, and now it's 4th and 10.
Now you're down to 1 down territory. It's time to get it all. Now, the one thing you don't want to do, you still have 8.5 minutes left in this ball game. Don't rush the offense. Even though you're running no huddle, don't do anything unless you're sure everybody has the message if you're the quarterback. You still have plenty of time left.
Cardinals still in that hurry up here on 4th down and 11. Plummer throws it, overshoots his man, incomplete. He tried to find Frank Sanders. He threw it behind him, and the Cowboys defense holds on 4th down for the 2nd time here in the 2nd half. So give that Cowboy defense some credit. They maintain the lead, 17-3, Dallas over Arizona.
Back in the pocket, he ends up escaping out to his left. As a wide receiver, when your quarterback is scrambling, you need to sit down in a hole. It's hard for a quarterback who's moving to throw to a moving target. So if you sit down, it makes it easier on Plummer.
Emmitt Smith changes directions and gets 5 yards on the carry, and you got to give this Dallas Cowboy football team some credit. They won 2 weeks ago on a Monday night game against the Washington Redskins in a tight one, 9-7. They came back. They go into their bye week. They lose a quarterback. Anthony Wright gone. He's got to have surgery. So now you got Clint Stoerner in there. You lose a couple of starters on defense. They fire or waive Darren Hambrick and Kareem Larimore, and so there's some unrest there. You maybe lose your momentum, but they come out today and they're playing good football and they're playing hard and they're not making too many mistakes. 2nd and 5. Emmitt Smith into Cardinal territory. 9 yards on the play for Emmitt Smith. You know, and I mean, this was a big game for the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, but Dave
a chance to get even up here.
Yeah, but Dave Campo said it was a pivotal game for his football team, especially when he had 2 starters on his defense that are released this week. He said we need to make sure that the message is getting across that what we're doing is going to work. And so you have to have some kind of positive reward at the end. So he felt this was a pivotal game for his football team.
And then to throw Clint Stoerner to the fire, and he's done what he's needed to do. I mean, really the defense has risen up and handled this football game for him as Emmitt Smith goes on his 18th carry and gets no yardage, and a flag comes in late on the play. Emmitt with 68 yards on the day. Actually lost a couple there, give him 66 on 17 carries. And that penalty goes against the Cowboys.
Holding number 88, Dallas. 10 yards. Repeat 1st down.
Jackie Harris. But you know, you go back to this, we talked about it. You got to really take your hat off and give Dave Campo and his staff credit for getting this team ready. And then the way they've played on defense today has really been the difference.
Well, and you got to give them a lot of credit because this team has been handcuffed by the salary cap. You know, they've had to make a lot of subtractions off their roster because of money. And all you look across this roster, you have NFL Europe guys, or arena guys, Canadian League guys, all these guys that are low-paid guys, and Campo, that's what he has to work with. And he did a nice job with him this week.
1st and 20 after the penalty. And Emmitt Smith breaks through and gets 11 yards on the play. Right now, let's go down to the sidelines for an update on Joey Galloway. Here's DJ Johnson. DJ.
Hey, guys, I talked to Joey Galloway before the game, and he really doubted that he could make it through this whole game. He said that his foot was taped up so bad, you know, so high that it looked like a boot. And he said he had big problems on stopping and cutting to his left. So he was really down, and he was really in pain. And like I said, he doubted that he could make it through this game. And right now, Darren Chiaverini is in for Galloway right now. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, DJ. Galloway came out and played. He sprained that left foot in that Monday night game 2 weeks ago. And it's Emmitt Smith time. A little spin move by Emmitt. Give him a couple yards. And let's take a look at that play where Galloway was injured, because he was really all this. He and Anthony Wright had a little thing going on. And And he was doing really well with him early in the game, and here he is back there, and this is where he gets hurt.
And this is against Corey Chavison, and then as DJ said, that stopping motion where he ran that comeback route, having to stop, that forced him out. But he is back in the huddle right now.
Back in the game on 3rd and long. And that's, I believe, what they've done is they put Cheverini in there for the regular situations, but when they go to 3 wides, which is what they're in now, Galloway comes back out. Stoerner looking deep, and that one's intended for Galloway, and it's intercepted. And Adrian Wilson returns it all the way up near the original line of scrimmage. A 35-yard return for Wilson. That was just an ill-advised throw from Clint Stoerner.
Adrian Wilson, their 3rd-round draft pick out of NC State, is just staying all the way back into this side of the field. And one thing you've got to understand, Adrian Wilson back here, one thing you've got to understand, when Joey Galloway is on the field, with his speed, he's always a threat to go deep. And a smart play by a young player in Adrian Wilson and being aware of that. And I think what the thinking is with Stoerner there, he felt that, hey, if I make a long throw that gets intercepted, so be it. It would be as good as a punt.
First career interception for Adrian Wilson. Return out to the 39-yard line. That's where Jake Plummer operates with 4 minutes and 18 seconds left. Plummer hits the slant to David Boston. 15 yards on the play as Plummer goes into the no-huddle mode.
On the stop. And a 1st and 10 for the Cardinals at the Cowboys 46.
Boston with 8 catches for 92 yards on the day, and Plummer slings this one deep and just overthrows everybody, incomplete.
And the one thing that a lot of defensive backs do not do against David Boston is get physical against him, because he's such a physical guy himself, weighing 237 pounds. But actually, that contact there could be deemed as illegal.
I think it was.
It's past 5 yards.
Definitely illegal contact. But it wasn't called, so I guess it wasn't. We thought so.
That's logical thinking.
Thank you very much. Brings up a 2nd and 10. Blitz comes. It's picked up. Plummer has time and drops it underneath again to Boston. And David Boston lowers his head and picks up another 16.
And they've got 1 timeout left with about 3.5 minutes to play. So if they can get in the end zone pretty quick, get an onside kick, they could still conceivably tie this game up and send it to overtime.
9 catches, 108 yards now for David Boston. Don't give up on these Cardinals. They've been in this situation and have pulled it out in the past. But Plummer gets sacked. He should have thrown that one away. Pepe Zellner stays with it and makes the big play. Zellner, the leading sacker now for the Cowboys. That's his 3rd of the season.
One thing that I've noticed with Jake Plummer, when he scrambles, his wide receivers don't work as hard to get open. Now look, he's on the scramble here. These guys aren't fighting as hard to get open, I think. You know, when you're a wide receiver, when your quarterback's scrambling, find a hole.
Plummer sacked again. It's Noble. Brandon Noble with the big sack. Well, we had a chance to talk to Noble, too, and here's a class guy.
And he's another example of what we talked about, a Europe veteran. And there's number 84, Arnold Jackson.
Covered like a glove.
The Plummer looking the other way. But Brandon Noble, what a great guy to talk to. It was kind of funny. He talked about the 2 cuts they made this week. He said, hey, everybody should be cut sometime.
17-3 Cowboys. Cardinals desperation. Beginning to crumble here late, and it's last-ditch effort time. I mean, this is where you let it all hang out. 17-3 Dallas over Arizona with 2:44 left. It's actually 3rd down now and a country mile. Incomplete. Plummer tried to reach Frank Sanders. Dat Wynn broke it up. Fourth and 26. What do you got for me, big guy?
Well, throw it up and hope. That's about all you can do on 4th and 22. But here's Sanders right here. He doesn't even get his head around in time to see when the ball's coming. You know, one thing I think that Jake Plummer has a tendency to do, obviously, and it's shown statistically in the past, is that he has a tendency to press when he's behind.
You got the Hail Mary set up down here at the bottom of your screen. 3 wide receivers. And Plummer launches the Hail Mary. And it's incomplete, knocked away. That's pretty desperate when that's what you've got to make a play on 4th and 26. Throw the Hail Mary.
I tell you what, the way the Dallas defense has been playing today, if it was 4th and 8, I think they would be lucky to get. That defense has been fantastic today. And the amazing thing is they've done it by subtracting 2 starters in this week. I mean, that's the amazing thing. I mean, you take out Darren Hambrick and you take out Kareem Larimore, and they plug in guys that they don't have a whole lot of experience, but they're excited and hungry, and they do a good job. Yeah, but like I said at the opening, I think most of the players on the Cowboys felt, you know, it's about time. So they didn't think it was that big of a deal and it would hurt them that much.
1st and 10. It's Emmitt Smith time. Smith with 19 carries, 81 yards prior to this. The cutback is no good. Rob Fredrickson gets the penetration. Let's look at the upcoming schedule for the Dallas Cowboys, and
it's a tough road to hoe.
It's always a tough road, but you know, hey, this is going to be 2 wins in a row for them now, and they go up and they play division rival, the Giants. Atlanta's a good team this year. They could feel. You're right. It is a tough road, but this is a football team that's showing some signs now.
If they can find some consistency, you know, but the big question mark is who's going to be the quarterback next week.
And we have hit the 2-minute warning. Dallas Cowboys with the ball in control. They're up 17-3 over Arizona. Games, well, they had a great chance. They already beat Philadelphia. They were going to get them at home, and then they get the Giants at home. A couple of division games. They could come out of here today at 500, and it just didn't happen. Cowboys put one on them here. Emmitt Smith, very little gain. I'd like to tell you today's game is being produced by Raymond B. Smaltz III, directed by Andy Kendall. The associate director is Art Durazo. The broadcast associate is Phil Mason. The technical producer is Marvin Kale. The pregame show was produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. The senior producer is Bill Brown. The executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorn and David Hill. And Emmitt Smith is down on the field. We'll take a break, an injury timeout. And when we come back, we'll let you know how Emmitt is.
Available at any Metroplex Palm Beach game. The Dallas Cowboys Giants.
Almost friendly fire coming in there. He gets the ankle.
That right ankle. You know, and the question that I have is, what is Emmitt doing in the game at this point anyway? I understand that he's going for the record, but at the same time, if the game is over, you know that Arizona's going to be playing 8- and 9-man fronts. In the last 3 carries that he's had, he's probably gotten about 1 yard.
He's probably lost yardage. You know, I looked at that replay again. I think his left foot landed weird, and his right ankle got twisted. I'm not sure which one they're looking at.
Well, as you can see right here, they're looking at his right knee.
It's never a good sign when you see a knee being pulled that way. That test right there is a test for the ACL.
I've been down that road before.
You and me both have the scars and the stainless steel in our legs to prove it.
As you can see, McKinnon lands right on top of his leg, but Emmitt's knee also hit the turf pretty hard.
Him in pain right there. That was when they move the leg outside like that. That's testing for the medial collateral ligament damage there to see what the level of pain and laxity is in that knee. And you can see by the expression there on Emmitt's face that this one doesn't look very good right now.
It's still baffling to me. Less than 2 minutes to go in the ball game. A game in which you're up by 14 points. I understand that he's running for Walter Payton's record. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me to have him in there.
Emmitt is up. Remaining fans here respond with a big cheer, and a good sign is that he's able to put a little bit of weight on that leg, and he looks like it's functioning normal, and hopefully it's a minor deal and he'll be all right. That's always tough when they take a look at a knee. So while Emmitt walks off, let's tell you about what we've got coming up on Fox. It's a baseball game. You know the World Series are going up. It's Kurt Schilling. He got the win as Arizona did it 9-1 last night in Game 1. So tonight it's Game 2 on Fox. Coming up next, the Yankees. Andy Pettitte looks to cool down those hot Diamondback bats as they face the big unit, Randy Johnson. He'll be on the mound for Arizona. It's going to be a good one. Game 2 tonight on Fox immediately following this game.
Randy Johnson, just the height and the size and the speed that he throws. He can intimidate just about anybody at the plate.
Big unit. Play action. Stoerner keeps it. He's got a lot of room to run, and he picks up the first down. And Clint Stoerner, who rushed for a touchdown earlier, rushes now to put it away for the Dallas Cowboys, and he's got to be feeling pretty good out of Baytown, Texas, where he grew up. He played all different sports. Never really thought of himself, as we talked to him, as a guy who would be an NFL quarterback, but yet here he is playing at Texas Stadium and getting a W in his first game.
It's got to be exciting, and the one thing that I have to mention is that Clint's mother, Linda, ever since he was a kid growing up and watching him in Little League, everybody would pronounce his name wrong. They would say it was Stoerner. Well, Linda, we got it right. Stoerner.
That's right, and I know she's in the stands today, and if we didn't get it right, Clint says she'd be up on the chair back screaming at us, "It's Stoerner." And indeed it was. Congratulations to Clint Stoerner in his Cowboy debut as a starter. And he had a lot of help, I'll tell you that. The defense for the Cowboys was phenomenal today.
They really were against the Cardinals defense that came into this game ranked 13th in the National Football League. Pretty solid group. Big question mark now after this game is what's Emmitt Smith's health status?
Emmitt ran well today. I think 2 games in a row now. He's done a nice job running the football. And that'll wrap it up here in Dallas. Cowboys 17, Arizona 13. It is a final, and we will be back here at Texas Stadium after these messages to wrap things up.
Hi, sir. Here's your pizza, and I gave the cheesy bread to your kids.
I don't have any kids.
Order Domino.